The table given below shows the data related to a few key financial indicators for 14 European countries in the year 2011 and 12. From the table, we can check the given parameters like inflation, long-term interest rate, debt to GDP ratio, fiscal deficit of the given 14 countries. We can check the inflation rate in Malta, it was 1.7%, and debt to GDP ratio of Germany was 74.8, and the fiscal deficit of Austria was 4.8. So that's quite easy to understand the figures given in the table. Now let's move to the first question of the set. In this question, it is given that the fiscal deficit of France is X euros, which was 50% more than that of Belgium. Then, what was the debt of Belgium in 2011 and 12? Suppose the GDP of Belgium in the given year was Y. So, fiscal deficit of Belgium will be 4.8% of the GDP, and when we multiply this figure by 1.5 we get X, as the fiscal deficit of France is 50% more than that of Belgium. From here we get Y equals 100 upon 7.2x, and we know the debt to GDP ratio of Belgium. So with the help of this figure we can calculate the debt of Belgium, and debt of Belgium comes out to be 108 100.8 upon 100 into 100 upon 7.2x, which comes out to be 14x. So the debt of Belgium in 2011 and 12 was 14 of x, which is option C. Let's move to the next question. The countries with the long-term interest rate less than 4%, debt to GDP ratio less than 60%, and fiscal deficit not more than 4.6% were given a AA rating. The number of countries rated AAA among the 14 countries in FY 2011 and 12 was. So just we need to check how many of the given countries had less than 4% long-term interest rate, debt to GDP ratio not less than 60%, and fiscal deficit not more than 4.6%. The countries that satisfy the condition of long-term interest rate are Belgium, Austria, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, and Netherlands. The countries that satisfy the condition related to debt to GDP ratio are Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Latvia, Poland, and the countries that have less than 4.6% of fiscal deficit are Austria, Belgium, Estonia, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Germany, and Malta. If we have look at these marks, then we see there are exactly two countries, Denmark and Finland, that satisfy all the three parameters. So the number of countries that were rated AAA in 2011 and 12 was 2, which is option C. Let's move to the next question. If the GDP of Finland was 50% more than that of Italy, then by what percent was the fiscal deficit of Italy more or less than that of Finland in financial year 2011-12? Let the GDP of Italy be X. From here we get the GDP of Finland as 1.5 of X, as the GDP of Finland was 50% more than that of Italy. The fiscal deficit of Italy is 5.1% of its GDP. So fiscal deficit of Italy in the given year was 0.051 of X, and fiscal deficit of Finland was 3.4% of its GDP, which means 0.034 into 1.5 of X, which eventually comes out to be 0.051x. Therefore, the required difference between the fiscal deficit of Italy and that of Finland was 0 in the given year. Hence, option A is the correct answer.